Oh, all right.
Is that your friend down there?
Yeah, it sounds like a short timer.
Would you like me to retrieve her, or are we gonna do both?
We've had to send someone to get the senator. Um, I was told Friday, Friday, that I was the number one bipartisan chairman. However, I was fixing to lose that recognition if I keep having 8 o'clock meetings.
I know who said that to him. I know who said that to him. I'm looking at him.
No, it was not Representative Hughley. She says much uglier things to me about it. No, seriously, I'm not going to say who said that, but no, it was not her. It was not you. It is dark. It is dark out there. It is. I just saw her walk past the door. She's coming to the other door. Now, Senator, when we have to send somebody to get you, I know she's been here. Oh, I understand. I understand. Yes, ma'am, if you got it. Okay. Golly, it's 4 after. Representative Lumsden, would you open us with a word of prayer, please? Yes, 21. Okay, thank you.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love and your goodness to us and for watching over us and caring for us. We thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to be here today. We thank you for the privilege that you've given to each of us here to serve you. We just ask for your wisdom and your guidance as we seek to do the business of the people of the state of Georgia. We pray these things in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
We have what I consider two very important pieces of legislation, probably two of the ones that I've worked the hardest on over the last 8 years. And they, Senate Bill 8 as it relates to balanced billing, and then Senate Bill 118 as it relates to autism. Senator Unterman and myself have over the years had numerous meetings, conversations, and everything else about balanced billing. And she has very graciously agreed to allow us to remove the original language in Senate Bill 8 and put in House Bill 678 that we passed with only one no vote on the House floor the other day as it relates to balanced billing. So what the proposal is here is the bill that we voted out unanimously out of this committee it will be, if this passes, then it'll go to rules, and then it'll go to House floor, and then from there it'll go to the Senate for agree, disagree. So if there's anyone who would like to make a motion, I am ready to accept it, or if you have a question. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Well, that was easy enough on Senate Bill 8. Thank you, ma'am, on that.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, she has been a pleasure to work with.
Y'all remember those words?
Yeah. But she has been a real pleasure to work with on this bill. And it's because it's been so important to all of us. Senate Bill 118. Here again, the senator and I have had numerous conversations about this bill. I've had numerous conversations with Autism Speaks. I've had numerous conversations with a lot of people about autism. Over the last some 8 years, I guess I have probably been the biggest deterrent for any autism bill being passed, because I wanted some numbers. I wanted some verification to say why things, the cost was, and I got those numbers now. I want to tell y'all what they are. Now, I know there's some people on this committee, like me, over the last several years who had an issue with this. But I want to tell you what we've got right now. If you'll notice in the new budget, there's money set aside for Marcus Institute, also for the facility in Savannah. That money keeps increasing every year. It's in the state health benefit plan. Those of you who are on the state health benefit plan have this benefit. There's probably 650,000 people that's in the state health benefit plan. And that doesn't include the Board of Regents. They're also included. Now, the big question I always had was how much was it going to increase premiums? And the autism folks, to their credit, always told me it was going to be around 50 cents. I didn't know if I believed that or not. So we've got data now from State Health Benefit Plan and the Board of Regents, and they're right. Actually, it's less than 50 cent premium increase for autism treatment. In the bill, it had $30,000 per year for coverage or benefit. On the average, it's somewhere between 8 and 10. Now, this state health benefit plan got this information last week. It's current. House Bill 118, in its original form, did one thing. It increased the age from 6 to 12. That's all it did. Now remember, we're funding this in the budget. Like I said, now I fought this thing a long time, and I had my last conversation with Autism Speaks last week. And I'm going to admit right now that I was wrong in fighting it this long. It needs to be done. I'm very supportive of this bill, but there are a couple of things I want to do to it. number one, instead of going to age 12, I want to go to age 20, and I'd like to make that motion right now, that we go to age 20 on line 11. I guess it's line 11. Yep, line 11, go to age 20. I need a second. And next, on line 23, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Sorry about that. On line 23, I want to go to 35,000. I'll make that motion too. I hear a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, thank y'all. Now, Senator, you're having about the easiest job you've ever had presenting a bill, aren't you?
I just wish the members of your committee knew how many hours we have spent working on this two bills.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really not hours, it's years
Mm-hmm.
that we have been working on this. And I appreciate you negotiating and helping me and working with my busy schedule and your busy schedule and finally coming to resolutions.
Thank you. So we have a bill, Senate Bill 118, with as amended on line 11 for 20 years, and on line 22, $35,000. The rest of that bill relates directly to the policies that's in the state health benefit plan. We have a question. Representative Tarvin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank the senator for bringing this. And first of all, I have close friends who, with children of varying degrees of this condition. Just for clarification, this will be on employer group policies from
Yes.
11 to 50, like it was last year, because of ERISA. We couldn't.
Right. We can't do anything with ERISA plans because they're federally regulated. We can't even tell them to pay their bills on time. We tried that a few years ago, and they took us to court, and judge said back off.
Okay. The question, when Senator Bethel brought this, and we spoke to some of the ladies that had children with this condition, we were told that needed to start with this. I think we called it therapy from age 3 to 4, because after they got older, it really didn't work. So we set it at 6, and then we came to 12, and then we came to 20. My question is, has there been change in the therapy, or are we finding that it works if we start it later?
Actually, I also had a son who had autism, and he actually killed himself because of the inability to be able to communicate very well over the years, and he was very frustrated. And the early intervention from 0 to 3 is the most important time. A diagnosis of birth to 3 years old is actually the best time to be able to start speech therapy. Like my son didn't talk until he was 4 years old. And early intervention is the most, and as the chairman said, providing funds to these university research settings like the Marcus Institute. We have a fabulous new program in Macon so that folks who are down South Georgia don't have to drive to the Marcus Institute anymore. They can drive to Macon. But early intervention is key to a more successful program and getting them into the everyday living skills and being able to function in society. So
the earlier the intervention and the more intense the intervention, you see a drop off as they get older and the type of treatments that they go through.
I've got a couple more, but
Go ahead.
So somebody else might want to.
No, you're the only one lit up. Go for
Have we seen an increase in people, in therapists? Did we call them therapists, I think, last? Are we seeing an increase in therapists that are entering this field in the last couple of years? or-
No, workforce development is our key, and especially in the non-metro Atlanta area. If you get out of the containment area, that's where the problem is. But I think the applied behavioral therapists, they're doing much better, and their networking is. But before, they really didn't have an incentive to. There was no reimbursement. But if you give them a reimbursement, I think it will grow and it will be better. One of the questions I think you ask about, and I can talk about this for a long time, but one of the questions that you ask about, that 0 to 3, they don't have, if they don't go to preschool, they don't have an intervention, and they don't come without their family. So no one tells the family, you know, it looks like this child's a little bit slow in developing. But then when they get into preschool and the kindergarten ages and first grade, then the actual public school system starts to take over. But this is better because they get it in school, and then they can get therapy outside of school. And that's what the double treatment is, what really accelerates and makes them improve.
It'd be wonderful if we could find a way to find it at one, wouldn't it? Are we seeing an increase in the number of diagnoses of this, or?
Yes. Like when my son was born in 1982, no one even knew really what the autism spectrum disorder was. I'm a nurse. My ex-husband was a doctor, and we didn't know what was wrong with him. We just knew that he was slow developmentally. But yes, autism and Autism Speaks is doing a great job educating people about what the signs and symptoms are so you can get early intervention.
Number 24.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just looking for some clarification on some of the language that's added in the sub on line 15, 17, and 18 on 15, where it says we're providing coverage for applied behavior analysis, because before we were covering for the treatment of autism spectrum disorders. So we're adding applied behavior analysis, and then we're adding, taking out when determined by a licensed physician, we're adding the covering entity. So when it is determined by the covering entity, and then on line 18, according to established criteria. So I'm assuming that when we're at this, the applied behavior analysis that we're going to start covering will determine what this established criteria is. That an agreement between the insurers and the providers?
Yes. And the insurance plans are now recognizing ABA therapy.
As being medically necessary?
Yes.
I got you. All right.
Yes, they are.
All right, thank you.
Number 19.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is Asperger's also treated with this? I know it's good. It's in the spectrum. Good. Good. Thank you.
Well, that is all the lights I see lit up. So, Senate Bill 118 as amended. Number 18.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to thank you and the senator for all your work on this. I was just going to make a motion at the appropriate time.
It's the appropriate time.
Move to pass.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, one other thing. You made it from down south. There's another bill floating around out there, and there's a lot of people in this room here now that were afraid that we were going to attach it to something else. You know, I got text messages yesterday and all this kind of stuff that I was going to slide something in on one of these bills. I don't do that, folks. If I say it's going to be House bill or Senate bill, that's what it's going to be. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you. So those of you who got up early and came down here thought I was going to slip something in. I don't do that. If I'm going to put something in a bill, it's just like with the senator here. You know, we talked about what we were going to do on these bills. We work it out. I don't slip things in on people. So, you know, if you've got to worry about that, you know, put it to bed. I don't do that kind of stuff. So I guess the meeting's adjourned until the next one. Y'all have a great day. Until